So, I happen to be doing some thinking lately in regards to this physical vessel, this temple, as you will. Originally, the idea was that as part of my funeral arrangement plan, I wanted to be buried under a tree within an unmarked grave within the Salisbury area, um, but within the outdoors, where, there's plenty of trees, plenty of green fields, and that was the original plan, anyhow. But, the more I think about it now, I've undergone this mind shift where I don't actually, in fact, want to be buried. Rather, this is going to sound completely out of the ordinary, for those that don't understand this procedure, as you will, involving physical bodies, human bodies. I would like to be kept under watchful eye when undergoing the frozen procedure. Now, many of you are going to be scratching your heads and you're going to think, why in God's name would you want to keep your physical body frozen for a prolonged amount of time? And I'm about to explain why. There's new science and technology now that can actually, in fact, bring bodies back to life after a prolonged amount of years whilst being frozen. What they would have to do, technically speaking, is allow the body to thaw out, if that's the word, and then use new science and new technology from there to actually, in fact, re-electrocate the heart even, and the mind, or should I say the heart, that actually, in fact, is aligned with the mind. So in other words, they would allow the body to thaw out, keeping it perfectly incubated, well wrapped up and looked after. And then what they would do from there is they would kickstart the heart with whatever technology it is they've got. I believe it's what do they call it? Is it defibrillator, maybe? And also, they would likely use chemicals that would actually, in fact, be pumped into the blood flow, as you will. Assuming, of course, they managed to get a heartbeat again after all of this time. And what this would do, this new science and new technology even would do, is bring somebody back to life when they could have been potentially frozen for, say, 50 to 100 years and more. So, technically speaking, I would have been sleeping for roughly 50 to 100 years within ice. That's it. It's a lot of time wasted. I get it. But I'm back to life again. They've somehow managed to not only kickstart my heart, but they've managed to get my heart working after thawing the body, which would sooner or later pump oxygen into the brain, along with any red blood cells, any white blood cells, to flush out any illnesses and diseases within the body itself thus actually, in fact, result into a reboot, as you will. Think of it this way, the body, the human body. Think of it this way. The human body is technically, if you want to get technical, an android, no, I'm not referring to an actual android machine. I'm referring to physical, fleshly machine. We operate like an android, and we go our day-to-day lives just like an android. Although our IQ is technically speaking a lot more advanced and a lot more dangerous than AI itself when accessing information. In other words, we have the brain and the heart bigger than the universe and space itself, thus giving us unlimited access to information. And with spiritual discernment, we can actually discern what is real, what is not, work with the real information, get it out there, take the false information, crumple it with your hand, throw it back out where it belongs. Point I'm trying to make is, let's say, like I said, my body was frozen for 50 to 100 years. I was thawed out on a given said day. And they managed to kickstart my heart, which later on, like I said, pumped oxygen into the brain. Along with blood flow to the brain. Thus actually, in fact, bringing my body back to life after 50 to 100 years of deep sleep within ice. And within that time, so much could have changed, whether it be for the greater good or whether it be for sadistic purposes, I guess. But this is where it gets mind-blowingly interesting. Let's say there was just one person that was actually, in fact, brought back round after their deep freeze sleep. And the world was quite literally riddled with degenerative people. And you were the only woke person in here and in here to human psychology and the world we live in as we speak, on the spiritual and psychological warfare, within today's society. Just imagine how much damage one person alone could do when restoring balance. In other words, it's like we're still physically here after all these years and we're given the chance to continue what we started to help other generations. In order to guide them closer to the truth, in order to develop their relationships with God through His Son, Jesus Christ, via the Holy Spirit. I will share more information regarding this, what do they call it? Procedure, the death procedure, that is. So technically they would have to remove my body, preferably a few hours after death, or not even that, a few minutes to an hour after death, And then from there on out, they place this body within a body bag that's kept extremely cool, below cold even for that matter. And then they transport this physical body and place it within a freezer of some sort. And there you have it. Now imagine how much damage woke people could do potentially if, let's say, I don't know, 2,000 people were given this procedure. They actually made a contract under their funeral arrangement partnerships. And they stated upon their contract, I, blah blah blah, want to be kept within this particular said procedure. It would cost more, in the long run, but imagine if 2,000 people took this route. And let's say, even if 15, 20 people didn't actually make it for some unbeknown reason from this procedure, but yet the rest of all human bodies did. Just imagine how much change we could actually bring back within our world. Just imagine how much change we could actually, in fact, get out there when putting a stop to the injustice, the corruption, the degeneracy, by putting back the presence of the Lord and the biblical manuscripts. I think this is a unique idea, and I believe wholeheartedly, people should look into this more and actually put their name down, like I said, under their funeral arrangement plans for this particular said procedure. Because technically speaking, you're not only, like I said, allowing your physical body to rest for however many years on ice or within ice, freezer, but there's a high probability that, like I said, they could kickstart your heart and bring you back to life after all of those years. I'll share the link to this procedure, like I said, within the video link itself, for people to look into more. But I believe it's a fantastic idea. And the science, like I said, and technology behind it is absolutely insane. And all for the right reasons as well.